Thank you for watching this Last Mile Profits video.
Parcel+Post Expo is going to be really special this year. Keep watching to find out why.
Last Mile Profits is brought to you by Parcel Pending by Quadient.
Gary, Parcel+Post Expo is returning to London. So
Well,
September
thank God, frankly. I mean, it's been in Amsterdam for the last 112 years, hasn't it? I'm sick of the place. Thank God we're going to go somewhere new.
Well, it's nice to have you back. At least we've got this very forthright.
No, I have to be outspoken because I do watch LinkedIn, and I'm one of the only people in the world that isn't on the Parcel+Post Expo advisory committee. I think it's actually a more elite position not to have been asked to be on the advisory committee, because there's 100 of you on the advisory committee, and the only advice I've got is let's not go back to Amsterdam. So I don't think they want me.
Well, look, so first of all, I'm actually quite happy it's in London as well. Just, you got so excited. I don't know if people heard this, 23rd, 24th of September, and it's going to be at XL. And I actually think this is going to be a really big one because, first of all, I think for the first time, they're putting together a couple of events. So there's an e-commerce event, there's going to be Parcel and Postal, there's going to be the Leadership Conference, and Gary, I'm going to be doing something I think quite interesting. I'm going to be doing several interesting things, but two of them are going to be, one is on day 2, which is the 24th. I'm going to be meeting up with Justin Pegg, the CEO of DPD UK, and Vitautas. I'm not going to do him injustice by mispronouncing his name because it's almost as difficult as mine, from Vinted. Atokaitis, maybe I'll try, but Vitautas, you can tell me if I get it right or not. And we're going to be talking about, you ready for this, Gary? The €1 parcel.
Right.
So I think that's going to be cool. And I hope you're going to be there asking lots of awkward questions.
I should try, because obviously I've not been invited to do anything at this event. So at the moment, I'm eminently available.
Gary doing a little plug for himself there. And then there'll also be another session that I'm doing with Nova Post, Allegro, Signal, and Omniva, where we're going to be talking about latest developments in e-commerce, customer experience, and all the important stuff around that. Plus, for those who want to come and see it, we're going to have some really interesting news about the latest deal between Allegro and Nova Post. So I think it's going to be great. Is there anything, Gary, from your perspective that you'd expect to happen this year? You know, what are the themes that you think are going to be coming up? Will they be the same as always?
If you want my prediction, I think we'll see fewer locker companies, because I think the peak was 2 years ago at 49, and I think we were down at 34 in Amsterdam last year. So I think we're going to see fewer locker companies bringing new hardware. I think there are some big players in Europe now, and I think they're flexing their muscles and putting their elbows out, as we would say in English, and to take market share, leaving less room for the kind of startup guys and the new entrants. I think it's very difficult if you haven't entered the locker market to have a go now. I think we're going to see that. But on the other hand, I think we're going to see far more software players. I think we're going to see more people selling the secret sauce, as you describe it, trying to get between the customer and the tin to kind of give them this liberated approach to the market. So you're not tied to a one-stop shop or an end-to-end solution. And also maybe you're not completely able to develop all your own software. So again, I think we're going to see less hardware and more software. And I think you won't be able to go more than 15 seconds without hearing somebody say AI. Because if you go to any event at all on any subject whatsoever, they are now the most 2 boring words in the English language, and they will be incessant for 2 days. That's my prediction.
Unfortunately, I was thinking hard how I can contradict you and come up with something different, but actually, I think you're right in all of those cases, which isn't, by the way, a bad thing, because as you said, I always felt and do feel that software is the cement that brings everything together, and it deserves a stronger place because, even if you've got the best hardware out there, it's the software that actually, to a large degree, can make the difference, both for the customer collecting the parcel and for the operator running the machines. It was actually, I'll go off at a little tangent. I was trying to understand how the Chinese could become so successful in automotive. And it turns out everyone knows about the batteries, but the other thing that not so many people know about, apparently, and this is not due to my knowledge, but people who are in the know, is actually the software and the technology that runs the vehicle itself. And that's where we Europeans allowed the Chinese to get ahead. And I think this is going to be the same thing. I agree with you with lockers.
Well, I think Tesla were the first mover in that area, with stupid gimmicky things like making a fart sound when you sat on the seat and everything. I think they really showed how you can differentiate a car through software. My son works in automotive. Well, two of my children work in automotive actually, and he works on the sales side. And he says 99% of people are not interested in cars at all. 1 in 100 will come in and actually talk about the car. The rest have come in to do something they don't really want to do, and basically they're buying finance. They picked a car they like the look of, and they're buying finance. But where that differs is people do get excited about some of the features that are fundamentally software. So I think I've been a bit flippant about AI, but in reality, what I'm hoping to see is instead of it being a solution out looking for a problem, that it actually becomes a solution to problems that we can see. And there are real features and benefits laid out that will appeal to customers and consumers to drive adoption, usage, security, throughput, whatever it happens to be. But we really want to see stronger differentiation via software, because I don't think anybody talks about secret sauce, but if I had to pick a top feature from one of their vendors, I don't think I could. I want to see more differentiation.
I think this is going to change. People are beginning to understand this, and go to the Swipbox stand, and I think you'll understand something in that particular area. But you made a good point. And well, first of all, we know that if somebody wants to impress Gary and to make their locker stand out, it needs to make a farting noise. But for the rest of us, I think AI does have a lot of really good opportunities. So things like predictive maintenance, using AI to be able to identify things that will indicate that a lock is going to fail. Or we saw this, I think it was a year ago at Post Expo, where some of the players already had AI supporting cameras, so you could actually predict what the customer's going to do. Is he going to want to use the machine, or is he just a passerby? Has he picked up the parcel and then
almost impossible to do on a battery locker, by the way. You just can't maintain the connectivity for CCTV and enough bandwidth on a battery locker to make that work. I know this from experience. So we have to be careful here, because sometimes when there's a fork in the road with feature, autonomy, cheap to deploy, battery, solar, whatever else. I don't think they've converged completely yet. So there's a pull in opposite directions depending on what you want your locker to do.
Well, I can half agree with you on that, because I think that battery technology is moving forward so fast, and technology designed to work with off-grid lockers. But I agree with you, it's not all possible today. But I still remember when even a camera was an issue, that you couldn't reasonably use a camera with a locker because it would kill the battery. I think there's going to be more of that. And that could be one of the areas where AI maybe will play a role. There are going to be other things, the components and the battery, etc. But look, we're running, so exciting as we've got you back, and we're running close to our maximum time limit every time. But Gary, I think it'd be really interesting when we're there to see. Gregor's going to be there this year, so maybe we'll get a chance to even do a quick video clip, Last Mile Profits, on location. But Gary, 90% agreement. So that's an unusual one.
Let's see what there is at the show. I'm looking forward to it. See you in London.
Looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Gary, I was looking at the subscriptions and realized that a huge number of our audience actually don't subscribe to watch our videos.
Really? That's outrageous. It's a bit like watching the BBC without your TV license. How can we keep it free if people aren't subscribing and letting us know they want more of this content? It's ridiculous.
And on top of that, if they're not subscribed, they don't get information about the latest hot episode where you can make one of your witty jokes and we can talk about something that is really important for our industry.
If I knew that a single act like that would make sure I got maximum time taking the mickey out of you, I'd be hitting subscribe in a heartbeat.
Well, look, so here we have it. Please, everyone, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your opportunity. Click right now. The button should be there, or maybe there. Do it now and have it done.